between
9 and 12. Why?
and Monday and Tuesday it's supposed to be live, and Wednesday the second half is live. But
Let's
that's
attack.
it. So let's attack.
Hello,
You left. You left our show. I hate you. Oh! We're moving the. Oh, is it because it's in my face?
Yeah.
My mom said that.
Oh
you
my
always
God.
have this thing right in your face. I'm like, that's my mask. Kim has an actual mask. Sorry.
Like, hello, we don't have much information, Peter and I, right? So, Tim is kind of millennial. So,
Yeah, he's your
About
your card.
webtoon,
take
webtoon
our
emerging
lead. Okay, we just
company.
background. Don't ask us too much.
Oh, we're live.
I would guess so. Yeah.
Hello, folks at home watching us on your internet thing.
그냥 이 정도면 될까요?
Internet thing.
어떠세요?
Wow.
Oh, it's very
That's-
close.
가까이
아,
말해요.
조금 뒤로.
이건 가까이서 말해요.
It's very
뒤로
close
조금만
to my face.
빼주실래요?
아, 넘어갈까요?
마이크. 네.
I feel
그
close to
정도면
this
될 것
mic as
같아요.
well.
I don't see the mic.
We have
Kayla,
intimate
can you open the
relationships
mic
with
for
our
a
mic.
second?
제가 말할 땐 그래도 이 마이크 좀
You want
가까이서
me to be
말해줘야 돼요.
closer?
Whoa,
Closer?
Peter.
Okay,
Let's
how's that?
not take it too
멀리서
far.
하면은 잘 안 들리니까.
Yes.
Just
Yeah,
like it.
Today we're
like
talking
Sing a
about
song.
what we're talking about. And
Is it this thing? Is
in a
it this
few
thing?
minutes, if this is your first time
Oh.
tuning in, Dennis, tell our viewers what they'll be seeing today.
Just one. We have just one.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, we have one live, but later on, we'll have more viewers, right?
페이스북 라이브
Because they'll
할게요.
watch the recording.
Yeah. Maybe up to 10.
Yeah. So
페이스북도 지금 라이브
the host has
중이에요.
left the studio temporarily, but don't worry, folks. Kayla will be back. And this might be the last time we'll be seeing
She's
her
not working with us.
in this
But no worries.
context
We will attack her.
Okay, good.
헬라 앉으세요.
in the Sunday morning talk context.
Someday. Yeah. Let's attack.
So
Hello,
Kayla,
Korea.
tell
You're gonna knock the
Me?
door.
tell our
Just
folks
Watch
at
me
home
on
what-
Hello Korea.
Yeah, all right, let's go.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right,
watch.
let's attack.
Please support me.
Attack.
Wait, can we watch you on Hello Korea? Will
Yeah.
it be a live
Really?
stream of that
Yeah.
also?
On Wednesdays, all that
Wednesday.
uga.
Really?
So this is all happening again and
와,
again.
안 돼.
No, too much.
You'll have a new host next week.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
we
exciting.
haven't seen him. Are we allowed
You're
to kiss
all
the new
you're
guy?
all boys.
We haven't
So-
met the host.
That's not good.
Don't
Not good.
be salty.
That's not good.
Don't be too salty.
Oh, come on,
We need
Kayla.
some
You're
gender,
asking impossible.
balance.
Yes. Yeah. Well, hey, no.
It's a
Somebody-
morning
아, 일부러
guys
보내주셨네.
talk show.
By the way, I don't
So-
think mic is working. Just saying.
What can we
없네?
actually? What can we talk about?
How about
Media
sing a
trends.
song?
아, 안 된다. 수고하자.
I have to learn Korean songs too. Fighting!
Oh no, please don't.
So we are going live in
Nick,
just
Do
a
you
minute.
have your link?
My link. Oh yes, give me the link.
The Facebook link?
아, 페이스북 링크는 강주호 방송으로.
We need Facebook links. We need YouTube links, and then we can send them out.
All right, guys. The show is about to start, so maybe later.
How do we?
Say that again, please.
The show is about to start.
We can still work while we're working.
Work
Come
while
on.
we're
You gotta
working?
look at the audience, pal. You cannot look at yourself and go like, "Hey, today
right,
I'm
are we
doing a
ready?
YouTube video."
Wow, really nice.
Right?
We're ready. We're ready.
Yes. I'm ready. And hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry too.
Welcome back. Now it's time for our part 2 where we discuss media trends. And every week we talk about a different media trend. As I informed you earlier, we have a live show with Talk and Talk with me in the studio. We have Dennis. Hi, this is a cartoon character, Dennis. Tim. Okay, Tim Silent and Peter.
Why are you not talking, Kim? You should say something.
Are
I
we,
want to hear your voice. You look so
are we
weird.
webtoon? I
Ah,
have the egg you.
old people.
Hi guys.
Bye, Kayla.
I'm getting kicked out after that, eh? All right. Well, how are you guys doing? Are you enjoying the cooler weather?
That was
Staying
really
healthy?
annoying.
Oh my. One more time, Peter. That was the lowest I've ever heard your voice before.
What? I talk like this all the time. What do you mean?
Here's a new host.
That's good. Are these your webtoon voices?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, one of many.
One of many. You could do voice
Ah,
work. Tim, how are you today?
I was okay
I
just
was
a moment
okay.
ago.
I
But
told you to
now,
be prepared.
it seems like now I'm not sure anymore.
Told you to be prepared.
Surrounded by these old people always makes me feel a little grumpy.
We are old. Think about
I
it.
think
We're
Jimmy's
all
always proud of himself.
Combined, our ages exceed the number.
But it's right.
all
true.
right. Today, gentlemen, we are talking about South Korea webtoon companies emerging as key players for global content makers and market. Now, South Korea webtoon companies have emerged as key players within the global content market. Not only their webtoon businesses are growing, but there are many dramas and games that are being made based on their webtoons. South Korean webtoon companies have emerged as global content suppliers that go toe-to-toe with, wait for it, Japan. And that's considered by many to be an empire of cartoons and animation. Plus, Naver and Kakao are producing dramas based on their webtoons, so they're growing similar to like Asian Netflix. What do you guys think about today's topic?
Well, I don't have much stories of talking because I'm a bunch of old guys.
You're
Well,
Sorry
you
about
know,
that.
I mean,
I'm not
come
a
on.
big fan of
young at
cartoons.
heart. Young at heart.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I'm so sick of taking care of my kids. No time to and read.
That's true. Less time to do webtoon
Yeah.
reading.
I just don't know that sorry about that. Just K-pop. That's it.
All right, Tim, what do you think?
Well, I believe the news is actually true. As a person who actually read those cartoons from both Japan and Korea, I can vouch for that. That Korean cartoon has been gaining audience over the past few years. I mean, a few years ago, a lot of West audience didn't really know what was manhwa was, which is in Korean term cartoon.
Right.
And now they actually report to the Korean cartoons on the website, such as Naver Webtoon, Down Webtoon, and Reading Comics, which is the three major companies that produces a lot of popular webtoons in South Korea, are actually well known now. And a lot of people are looking for more Korean manhwa rather than Japanese cartoon, which is in the internet is called manga. So it is kind of surprising how it's actually getting really popular nowadays.
You know, and the most famous one that I can think of, Korean one, I think it's Korean, right? She's in the Trap.
Yep. She's in the Trap.
They made it into a drama,
Yeah,
which was differently received. Let's
Yeah.
say. I can't say critically or well received. It was differently received. But yeah, I mean, if you think about it, Japanese programs and dramas for years have been making their manga, you said,
Japanese
into
manga are not more
dramas or movies. So it's kind of nice to see that Korea is following and dominating that market. Peter, what do you, we'll get into that in a minute. What do you think about that?
Well, my experience with this webtoon situation is, being on the bus, for example, and watching the students flip on their phone. And so that's pretty normal. Lots of people have smartphones, especially teenagers these days. But, it's pretty easy to look over their shoulder and see what they're going through.
What are you watching?
Right, exactly.
That's not creepy at all, Peter.
Really? Well, you're in pretty close quarters.
Well, no,
so,
that's true.
Yeah,
that's true, right.
it's better to keep your eyes on the screen than in other places.
That's true.
So,
that's
anyway, yeah, I can see some of the animation, some of the webtoons, as we say. And I don't know the company with the characters necessarily, but I do notice that they're not exactly reading the pages the same way that I used to read comic book pages.
I was going to say
they're sort of just flipping through them as if it was something almost like they're trying to go as fast as they could.
Actually,
but is that culture?
So
because it's
I'm
mostly
not sure
pictures,
what's going on
aren't
there. Yeah,
webtoons mostly pictures where you're supposed to read into it, so that when you're flipping quickly, you're
That's like a difference between the Japanese manga and Korean manhwa. And manhwa, when I say manhwa, it's specifically for the webtoon series.
right.
Because here's a little different thing. In Japanese manga, they usually go with the classic style of the pages with at least like 4 panels on a single pages, right?
Right.
But in Korean mana, I think they actually designed this for like a smartphone users.
Okay.
That's my opinion because there's only one single panel just keep going down
Right.
this direction, just going down. So when you're like watching it on the smartphone, you can all you have to do is just to scroll it down.
Okay.
And instead of
Scrolling,
trying to
right.
Easy to scroll.
move to the
Right.
pages or something or watching a different panel because the screen on the smartphone is kind of small.
Yeah.
So that's how they gain popularity too because now they have like applications you can download and just read it straight through like this.
I think by one hand, it's kind of the scrolling is only for the Korean webtoon or
Right.
just for
Usually
other-
one panel scrolling is only like
Korean
applied to
style.
the Korean manhwa or
Korean
sometimes some Chinese cartoons also have a similar styles.
I feel like that's how they rope you in. I mean, if you like printed it out on paper,
Yeah.
it's not that much. You're not getting that much content or information,
Right.
but like it feels like a lot when you're scrolling through, and then you just want to know. I mean, like the story only happens spread out, 50, 60, 70, 179 different issues, right? And then, but you're only getting such little information that you're like, oh, where's the next one? Oh, where's the next one? Oh, where's the next one? Because you only have like one frame.
That's true.
You're right.
Do you guys read any webtoons at all?
Well, I don't read the.
I know you said you were
but,
very
but
busy.
my life every night before sleeping.
Really?
Were I reading it?
Is
I found a new webtoon. Wow, it's so good.
Is that the sound she makes?
Yeah.
Does she have a cartoon voice?
Yeah, just a little bit. She's
Now
always
I feel like
playing
having
video
her on the
games.
show and being like, "Can you show us your cartoon voice?" Dennis says. Do you know the name of it?
Every day the new cartoon's name is always changing.
Oh, different.
Yeah,
She likes
yeah.
various amounts.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So sometimes I just what's the story? They're really good. Okay, good. Okay, good. But I don't read them.
I feel your okay, good is more of like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. Stop talking. I don't care.
How did you know that?
Because I feel like that's a lot of.
Yeah, I'm a curiosity. Okay, is there any Canada or US that kind of any webtoon or cartoon market?
I mean, there are comics like a Marvel comic.
I feel bad. I never read comic books. I could never get into them.
Okay, how about beer?
I like novels, nice, thick, rich, imaginary,
Novel
lots
type,
of words.
Yeah, I'm the
pictures.
generation of turning
Well,
the page.
pre-novels, comics were great. I think Archie comics was the way to go.
Okay,
when
maybe
I was a
I
kid,
did
yeah.
read some
I mean,
Archie comics.
Spider-Man, that kind of thing. That's what was available.
How about Tim? Do you know
kid.
that, right? In Canada or in some Europe, some countries?
Well, a lot of Western community doesn't really create, those kind of cartoons on the internet because, they know they're not really comparable, and only cartoons that I know they generate on the website are usually like one of the Marvel comics, and Western style comics rather than, Japanese or Korean style.
Aren't they really? I mean, aren't Canada and America, I mean, Western countries, still really into comic books like
Oh yeah,
paper
they are.
prints?
Yeah, like
Still.
So what would be the point if people are really into having like something tangible in their hand? Trying to get a webtoon online that isn't an established character would probably be quite difficult and more indie, I guess, more independently produced.
I mean, the point is these cartoons are based on the different culture, right?
Right.
So that's
Tim,
what Sorry?
do you read webtoons?
I do.
Which ones? Can you say?
It's
Or you don't wanna
actually
say?
She's in the trap.
it's actually no,
He
no,
doesn't
no,
want
no,
to
no, no.
reveal his
You don't wanna reveal?
identity.
No, actually, I don't mind. But here's the thing: it's a cult classic, so I don't think they have a English translation for this. And also, these art are known to make a quite interesting story. Let's just say.
I'm a little bit disappointed at that because sometimes I'll come across a Korean manhwa or something that I like, but then they don't have an English translation past like maybe the first one. So I get hooked on the first one and be like, oh, I want to know the story. Oh, but
Wait for translation.
yeah, but like translation sometimes takes years.
I know,
And
right?
then I'm with my papago on one tablet. What is this?
Yeah, right.
Oh no,
What
no,
does
no.
that mean?
Actually, okay. Let me explain. So, comic book, like a physical book copy, usually took like a year back in the past.
Right.
But nowadays, since they're releasing like a one episode at a time, if the series is popular and has a Western audience,
Right.
it usually only takes about a week, maybe two, just to translate one episode.
All right, gentlemen, we're going to take a song break. We're going to listen to Strength, Courage, and Wisdom by India Ari.
India Ari. Sounds
India Ari.
India Ari.
I don't know that song, but
Oh, now we're on
I
break.
like her
Wow.
name.
Okay.
India.
I can't see.
Woo! Break time.
I
I'm
can't
gonna
see the
sleep.
time. What? Oh my god!
There's something about this chair that just makes me want to kick back and relax.
I feel like I'm gonna flip right
Yeah.
over.
It's TGIF.
Are we ready?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
ready?
All right, I guess break is already over.
I guess.
Welcome back. All right, we are talking about South Korean webtoon companies emerging as key players for global content market. We were also talking about what webtoons we read.
We're
Dennis
back.
reads nothing. I
Sorry,
read nothing.
sorry.
Tim reads cult classics that don't have English translations at the moment. And Peter, what do you read?
As far as webtoons,
Yeah, any webtoons?
they just haven't come my way, but I promise to seek them out more in the future. So, you know, I'm kind of addicted to podcasts and audiobook at the time. So, if they published some webtoons along with podcasts, then I would probably make more of an effort to read them.
Right.
So, one of my concerns is that this is, a device type based culture, it seems like, unless you're talking the paper format of it. And so I hope that kids, this just doesn't contribute more to their walking into traffic or into poles and curbs and things like that. Because I see a lot of this reading of the phone while they're walking down the street.
Right.
So
I've nearly hit a few kids who just
yeah, you have to
stepped
really
out into traffic
snap them
because,
out of there. Wake up.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys. Now, I was reading an article that says that Naver and Kakao are actually making no profit from their respective webtoon businesses. Why do you think they're having trouble? What do you think their problem is? Why they're not making any money? Yes, Tim.
So, like I say, there are three major companies that produce webtoons in this country, right?
Right.
So, one was the Naver Webtoon,
Right.
another was Down Webtoon, and third one is kind of new one actually, Regin Comics.
Okay.
And here's the thing: so Naver Webtoon and Down Webtoon used to provide their service for free, right? Like maybe some other really high quality cartoons, when they are complete, maybe later they're gonna become some kind of premium one that you have to pay later. But unlike the other those two companies, the Regin Comics actually started their service with payment involved. And somehow they started getting more artists from those two websites due to the, a little bit of conflict in their contract or
Right.
how they usually treat their employees. So I believe nowadays Naver Webtoon is actually losing a lot of artists. And also, since their service started as a free of charge,
Right.
and now
People don't want to pay for it after they've been getting it for free.
Actually, here's the thing. So they used to be free, but now they're kind of changing the methods right now. So I
Right.
think that's like another reason why people are kind of pulling out too.
Right. Well, because Neighbor's so huge, you would think they would be able to overcome this and figure out ways, to be around it. I did hear that Neighbor and Kakao have been investing heavily in securing intellectual property rights of webtoon novels or webtoon
That's
cartoons
where the controversy comes from.
to ride a rapidly growing cultural content market. And they're trying to make themselves more global,
You're
like
right. That's a good point.
Disney or
Yeah,
Netflix,
yeah.
such as. Do you think that they can grow like Disney and Netflix have? I mean, in the past, I would say even the past 2 years, especially within the Korean market.
Well, I'm negative on that because we have a kind of previous case, kind of
Right.
side words.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
That's just established almost 2002 or three, just 10 years ago. Just Facebook started, right?
Right.
We had Korean people made a really nice platform of internet, but they failed. You know what? Because they are not prepared and systematically kind of like that. So I think Naver and Kakao, they have a nice platform, but only just limited in Korean
Right.
peninsula. So have to find, but I know they are trying,
Mm.
but they have to learn some better system from U.S. or from Western countries. But they don't like to learn these things like that.
I do think that the current search platform in the West that people use pretty much has dominated the market. There's been nothing to challenge it.
Yeah, so one more thing, because Korean people think South Korea is really strong internet country, right?
Right.
But I think that's wrong, because
I mean-
Korean country is just has the fastest internet country. Not
It
the
is
strong.
fast.
Yeah.
True.
But US the internet the speed is not very fast, but they have Google and the Y2 and kind of the Facebook, right?
Right.
Yeah,
So
they don't have the
yeah,
censorship that
speed
Korea
and the
has.
strength is totally different. The Korean people think a little bit wrong, so that's the problem, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That would be one of my concerns also about this webtoon we're talking about. Is it webtoon? What are they called?
Yeah, webtoon.
Webtoon.
Webcomic? Okay. Well, is there a censorship issue
Yeah.
here in Korea? Because it seems like, these comics, if they have any kind of adult theme, then, I know if you're watching Korea television, any kind of adult theme usually gets blurred out. So,
Right.
including violence, sex, and
Well,
Certain
for
cigarettes.
that,
smoking,
actually,
yeah.
adult themed webtoons are actually locked by default. You have to actually create an ID and prove yourself that you're over 19 years old in this country. And
Right.
also, they're usually not free, even on the Naver or Down webtoons. So
Okay.
you actually have to pay for them. Usually, that prevents children from getting access to it.
But I'm actually for that. On YouTube, I've caught my kids watching what has been labeled as children's content. It's not. Somebody has creatively drawn things into kids' cartoons. So I'm actually all for locking up and proving that you're of age to be able to
Yeah.
access content that is more mature.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not against that at all. But I wonder if the censorship goes further in terms of what kind of adult content will be featured on these sites. For an international global market, people outside of Korea maybe, how would you want to say this? Slightly more open-minded in what they
You're right.
read.
You're right. You're right.
Their tastes will differ, will vary.
Totally different.
Right. And even coming out of Japan, I feel like they have allowed a market, not within Japan maybe, but outside of Japan to create a market that might cater to those of different tastes than their people.
Yeah.
I don't know that Korea companies would feel comfortable or would be able to create a content market simply for overseas as opposed to one that's offered to absolutely everybody.
You're right. Married of Korean cartoons, the market is kind of all of the safety, right? In kind of violence or in kind of sexualism, kind of like that. But
Even like
that can be the demerit too,
Mm.
to be globalized.
even if you ever watch like shows, if it's like an action show, it's really action and violent, or like cutesy romance or family. There's no like I shouldn't say there's no, but there seems to be they like to steer in your own genre. Like don't cross over too much. Don't add anything that might be like how many disabled people have you seen on TV in Korea, or how many people of color have you seen in representation? Even the English speakers in Korean shows are usually white
Or terrible.
or terrible.
And speaking English from the start. No offense, but these are not actors usually. These are just some kind of people living in Korea and some studio just hired. Because I know this. One of my friends actually done this.
Uh-huh.
He's like an English teacher, not an actor, right? But they just kind of call him like, "Hey, can you act like a police officer in this TV show?" And that's what they
Okay,
did.
fair enough. But in terms of being global, in terms of opening themselves up globally, they're still very much restricted by their, ability to produce content that isn't just romantic, just action. We're running out of time, Tim. Is
Exactly.
it quick?
Yeah. Okay.
Is it
Yeah,
quick?
Got
it's a
it. All right.
quick.
Okay.
So another reason why Korean webtoon is kind of concentrated on the market nowadays is because Korea is really restricted when it comes to making animation on TV.
Right.
There's
Right,
too many
right.
restrictions for them.
Okay.
So I think that's why they kind of go all the way through through those webtoons
Yeah.
for their freedom of expression when it
You're
comes
right.
to
You're
art
right.
and other stuff.
Right.
Got
And
it.
that's why people are actually getting more into it because in this little category, at least here, Korean can express a lot of stuff that are actually restricted on TV.
Right.
You're right.
That's a good point. But whether or not people outside of Korea want to read it remains to be seen, right? Gentlemen, that is all the time we have for Talk and Talk, and it's my last show with you guys. So
Say
I love
bye,
you
Kayla.
guys.
Bye.
Jalabi.
Listeners.
We will promise the listeners we will attack the Hello Korea of Kayla sometime.
Indeed.
However, coming up next week, we'll still be Sunday Talk with a new host Thank you guys for coming in, and I will be listening to you next week.
See you in
So,
the studio,
Alright,
Kayla.
alright.
We will attack.
bye.
Goodbye.
What is that?
We're still on. We're still live.
Nobody move. Oh, what? Yeah,
What?
Young G. Wait.
Let's go.
I fooled somebody.
고생하셨습니다.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for watching our live stream. YouTubers,
Bye-bye.
Facebookers.
I'm starving. Oh, so hungry.
Yeah, me too. I'm
Whoa.
hungry
You
too.
gotta move.
Careful with that finger.
You flip off YouTube people.
She totally did.
Oh.
Okay.